Hey folks, welcome back to another video on living in Halifax. Today we're doing a video on the pros and cons of the South End of Halifax. The South End is Halifax's, I guess, priciest properties in the whole city. So stay tuned, we'll get right to it. Okay, so pro number one is going to be the proximity to kind of green spaces and the outdoors. Now, as you can see, I'm in one of the neighborhoods, but right behind me here, we've got this beautiful Conrad Rose Park, and you're going to find throughout the city of Halifax, especially in the South End, you're going to find a lot of parks close by. So if you have a dog, kids, whatever it is, you're generally not too far away from a park space where they can get out and run. Alternatively, you also have Point Pleasant Park, which is obviously at the end of the South End and offers acres of forested trailways that you can bike on or walk on, whatever it may be. You've also got the public gardens kind of just on the outskirts, which is this beautiful gardens located just in between the South End and downtown. And then you've also got the Commons, which kind of separates the South End from the West End, from the North End, and kind of is a central location for the city. So in the South End, you're going to find no shortage of outdoor spaces to enjoy. All right, so here is Conrose. Has a large baseball court, soccer field, playground down there, and there's actually also tennis courts. Okay, pro number two is going to be your proximity to downtown. Now, before we get started on this one, remember, every week we come out with a new video on living in Halifax right here, so be sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch it every week. When we're talking about downtown, we're talking about if you're maybe commuting there, trying to take in some restaurants, bars, whatever action. There's all the action is obviously occurring downtown. Now, your ability to get downtown from the South End is great because A, it's kind of cut off from the rest of the peninsula and the traffic, all the rush hour and whatnot, so you won't really have to deal with rush hour. But B, a vast majority of the South End is within walking distance. So for those summer, winter, fall months, summer, spring, fall months, you're able to walk. Not like a lot of people do walk to work. Winter, it may be a little icy, but some people are brave enough to do it. But basically, the point here is that you're close enough to have a large piece of property, while at the same time being not very far away if you do decide to commute into downtown Halifax. Okay, so pro number three is going to be your access to universities like Dalhousie behind me here. The South End is home to both Dalhousie and St. Mary's University, and right on the outskirts of the neighborhood is Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. So that's good for a couple reasons. A, if you are looking to actually do a post-secondary program here, Dal has a lot of your higher education, like doctors, lawyers, dentistry, kind of some of those larger faculties. Meanwhile, St. Mary's is good for a lot of other sorts of undergrad programs, and Dal has a ton of undergrad programs as well. So everything is right here. Now, the other interesting aspect is maybe you're looking to buy a property that maybe has an in-law suite or something like that. You're gonna have absolutely no problem renting that out to a student, whether it be a graduate student, undergrad student, maybe you've got a kid who's thinking about going to school here. All of this is great because they can walk to the university. So definitely something to consider with having all these great post-secondary schools right here in the South End. Here's the Killam Library, which is the Dalhousie Library. All right, our next pro is in regards to the hospitals. Now, both the IWK, which is behind me, the Children's Hospital, and the Victoria General, or the VG, the Adult Hospital, are located inside of or just outside of the South End. So the VG, there's certain aspects of it that are inside the South End, and then there's the emergency is basically a block outside of the South End, but everything is very close here. So you've got the Children's Hospital behind me, which is the IWK. This services almost all of the Maritimes. So if there's any real serious injuries or issues with a child, they'll come right here. And then the VG, the Victoria General, that's also one of the larger hospitals in the Maritimes. So if you're an adult and you have emergency care issues, anything like that, a lot of those clinics are going to be located right here, and they're actually opening up a brand new patient outbuilding in the outskirts of Halifax, which will alleviate some of that congestion at the VG here right down on the peninsula of Halifax. Okay, so when we come to the cons, we've really got only two. Number one is going to be the price point. Now, the South End, as I mentioned before, is pretty much the most expensive real estate in what could actually be considered the province. Your average price hovers right around $1 million, and for that you get proximity, larger lots and generally larger, nicer homes. But that's a real barrier to entry to a lot of folks. Con number 2, and I guess our only other con, is going to be what I like to call cafe closeness. So this is your proximity to maybe some of those smaller scale shops, cafes, things like that. Again, there's not that much commercial space in the South End. So in order to be able to get to these cafes, get to, you know, these little kind of hole in the wall local shops, it may be a bit more of a walk. You might have to walk to downtown or up to Quinpool or even over to Roby. And because the South End, again, has such little commercial area, the houses are larger, they're on larger lots, and there's just not as much foot traffic in the South End due to its exclusivity and privacy. You might have to walk a little bit to get to some of those, you know, cafes and kind of that foot traffic zones. All right, folks, well, I hope you enjoyed this video on the pros and cons of the South End of Halifax. Once again, I'm Tom Moore. I work with RE/MAX here in Halifax. If you're thinking about making a move here, or maybe you're thinking about selling a house, we do a ton of marketing on the selling side as well. So we'd love to talk to you, help you out, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.